I wish that you were mine. Na, na, na. Oh. Well, excuse the attire. I look a bit mess because I've just come back from a run, and it kind of made me think about something I haven't talked about, but something I've noticed since coming here. Is about health and fitness in Denmark, and actually how healthy and fit Danes seem to be. Yeah, so I've talked about vanity before in a previous video, but I guess Danes actually do have a type of vanity, but maybe a different type of vanity, and I see that in like health and fitness and sport. Danes cycle everywhere. Well, a lot of them do. You know, it's like the first mode of transport. I bought a bike as soon as I could when I got here. Still have Betty going along. She's getting a bit knackered though, spending life outside. I've always tried to keep fit and healthy. I used to be slightly overweight when I was younger, and I picked up running and healthy eating to try and lose that, which I did. But I've never been like really healthy, like as in I've watched what I eat and I've exercised every now and then, but I've never been like mad fitness expert, pro, whatever. I've dabbled in exercise here and there. I used to swim when I was younger and horse ride and such, but as I got older I kind of gave up with it. But here, one of the first things I noticed was so many people out, not cycling obviously, and running everywhere, Danes running everywhere. It kind of encouraged me to start it again. I don't like running in the winter because I get very cold. Raynaud's, I can never say it properly, Raynaud's syndrome, where I lose the blood circulation to my extremities, so my fingers, toes, nose, ears, etc. And I get very cold, so I don't really exercise in the winter, but hey, it's just started to get sunny again. Bloody windy though, of course. It's Denmark, it's Copenhagen. So halfway through the video, magically, I have changed appearance, clothing, etc. Well, what happened was, while I was recording that, my roommate came home, and I've decided when making these videos that I will not make them in order to disturb them. Also, it's a little bit of an embarrassment thing for me because at the end of the day I am just talking to a lens, so he probably just thinks I am a crazy person. But getting back to the video, sorry if I repeat anything, but this year I actually joined a gym, yeah, I was doing a kind of sober October. So I wasn't drinking for the month of October, and what I decided to do was then spend that money on joining a gym, and I've stayed ever since. Actually, gyms here are really reasonable, I find. So I joined my gym, at the time it was Fresh Fitness. The three big chains were Fitness World, Fitness DK, and Fresh Fitness, as what I knew. If there's any others, you can let me know. But I know there's obviously other smaller gyms as well. And I joined Fresh Fitness because you could join it for 150 krona a month and train any time of the day, so it was 24 hours. Yeah, use any of the machines and whatnot, and then you'd pay if you wanted to do classes, which I'm not really a classes kind of person. So I joined Fresh, but then Fresh has now merged with Fitness World, so I'm technically now in Fitness World. Yeah, and I think gyms are pretty reasonable. Gyms at home, or at least I used to pay for one that was like pay as you go, but it ended up like them pushing the price up every week. And then kind of basic gym memberships, they've become more competitive. I've heard that there are cheaper ones now where I used to live, but at the time when I lived at home, the cheapest gyms were really about 25 to 30 pounds a month, which, you know, is kind of 250 krona, 300 krona plus. And usually would get it all inclusive in that, so you could do classes, and maybe there would be a swimming pool as well, but it just wasn't flexible for someone like me who just wants to go and exercise. And it's not nice outside, or it is today though, so I might go for a run later. And there's loads of gyms as well. With Fresh now, Fitness World, you had a ban, but you could use any of the fitness centres, and there are quite a lot. I mean, there's a Fitness World, well, the one that I use is behind me, behind my building, about 5 minutes that way. There's one just over here, like 5 minutes that way, and then there's one 5 minutes that way. So I mean, it's all pretty accessible, and there's loads in the city centre as well, and everywhere. There's just loads of gyms, and I think that's good because I know it's a capital city, so it's understandable that there's lots of gyms and lots of fitness stuff around. But it's good because it's encouraging for people to stay healthy, and I must admit that it's you don't really see very many overweight people in Denmark, like, or at least on the obese scale. Oh, plane. I'm doing that again. So I can also now see Copenhagen Airport from here. Well, I can't see it, but I can see the planes taking off. Yeah, so compared to the UK, where we're currently like in an obesity epidemic, or like 1 in 4 people are overweight or obese. Over here it's like not the same. You not necessarily everyone's like super skinny or super fit, but people just kind of generally look after themselves a bit more. Now that the weather is better, you would just see like an explosion of people running and exercising and such. There's people do it in all extreme weathers. So I mean, you know, it's colder here than it is in the UK, especially in the winter. Yet people will still be out exercising and running, and I'm just like, good on you. Like you don't let anything get in the way. It's really motivating. So that's one thing I really love about it here is, you know, people just get on with things, just get on and get doing with it. So exercise is one of those things. So hey, let's try and get me fit again. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Why is it every time I'm recording, someone is looking out the window opposite me? So standard. I guess that's what I get for filming in a window.